a future Hall of Fame quarterback is retiring, and his head coach is already giving clues to who the next starting quarterback is. This is why you cannot sleep in Dynasty. Let's talk about it right now.
Cannot play with him. Cannot win with him. Cannot coach with him. Can't do it.
You play to win the game.
I mean, listen, we talking about practice. Not a game. Not a game. Not a game. We talking about practice.
Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier. Touchdown!
You are now locked in to the Clock Dodgers podcast.
Clock Dodgers podcast.
Yo. It's your boy Neil. You are listening to the Clock Dodgers podcast. And from the intro, I'm sure you could tell what I was talking about. From the title, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. But listen, Drew Brees is expected to retire, right? I mean, it's not 100% confirmed. He hasn't said it. Sean Payton is expecting that he'll make an announcement, within the next couple of weeks. But I mean, during the playoffs this year, Glazer said that, Jay Glazer said he felt like it was a fact that, he'll be done. And of course, we know with athletes and with anybody, retiring is this weird thing, especially for athletes, because they feel like they can keep doing it. And, it's hard to just walk away. Right. So with that in mind, right, Sean Payton spoke today about what happens next, right? Like what's his next quarterback situation. So let me just read quotes straight from the article first, so that I cannot miss any, details here. But it says here that, he was on, it looks like a few different shows. So he was bouncing around. But this is an ESPN article. It says it was notable that Payton mentioned Winston first and talked about him in the greater detail when asked about the Saints' future quarterback plans by ESPN's Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin show, and by the NFL Network's Good Morning Football show, saying it was an easy question. Jameis Winston, we know, we had a year with him. He was fantastic as a leader. He's got tremendous arm talent. He's a young prospect that we like a lot. When you have a player for a season, he's kind of giving you a chance to see what he's about. And there's a little bit of an audition there, but the same audition takes place for us. He's getting a chance to see, hey, this is how they do it here. Does this fit me? Does this head coach, this position coach, is this a place I feel comfortable playing? And then Payton told Good Morning Football, a lot of times you want to hold your cards closer to the vest with a free agent, but him, along with Taysom Hill, we've said it all along, we're going to develop and coach those guys, and Jameis is one of those guys that we have big interest in. So, I mean, listen, this is why, when I did the episode the other day, I kind of was, putting that reminder in the air. I know the veteran dynasty players know, like, you can't sleep in fantasy football. In dynasty fantasy football, it's just not an option, right? Like, you got to take advantage of these lulls when other people are, trying to, rest from the long season that just took place, and they're trying, maybe they're a little burnt out. You got to take advantage of those moments, right? So this is one of them. This situation, people weren't sure, like, is Drew Brees really going to go? And if he does go, what happens? Like, are they drafting a young quarterback, a rookie? Are they, going to make a trade for somebody? What's going to happen here? Is Taysom Hill really the guy? So, him talking so much about Jameis Winston and even putting his name out there and saying how interested they are. Like, I know some people are afraid of coach speak. I know some people don't buy into it. They don't want to, put too much stock into it. And it makes sense. I get it. It's like, it's reasonable to feel that way. However, this is an opportunity to, if you have the guy, Jameis Winston, you keep him, right? This is a reminder to you, like, hey, the Saints are thinking about keeping him. They are thinking about re-signing him. They do like him a lot. They were impressed with him. So I shouldn't bail on him, right? So that's an opportunity for you to remind you, like, hey, if somebody's trying to offer me trades, let me just chill. Let me relax. Let me hold up on this one. Let me hold. It's like, hey, like the stock market, let me hold, right? Like, I feel like this value is going to go up. So let me hold on Jameis Winston. If you don't have Jameis Winston, this is an opportunity to try to trade for Jameis Winston, right? Again, everyone is seeing the same news you're seeing probably. So again, somebody might be sleeping at the wheel though, right? Somebody may not be paying as much attention. Somebody may not believe in the coach speak. Some people may not believe Drew Brees is even going to retire. Like he may think he may, kind of like pull back from that and actually stay another season. Totally possible. We see these quarterbacks getting up into the 40s and it's not, it's not, it seems like to not, deter them from continuing to play. So it's possible. With that possibility, you try to buy a guy like Jameis, you try to get him onto your team at a cheaper price before it's established that he is re-signing with the Saints, before it's established that Drew Brees is retiring. Like, these are still questions, and it has to make the person who has Jameis Winston now think about it, right? So, I don't know if you can get him necessarily cheap, depending on how that team manager feels, about Jameis Winston. But this is an opportunity. This is an opportunity to bundle and try to get Jameis Winston thrown into something. This is an opportunity to, leverage someone else, not seeing the headlines yet, right? Like Jameis Winston resigns or Drew Brees retires. These things are going to put that person immediately into hold mode. It could put them into sell mode, but they want to sell high at that point. So these are those little windows where you try to work it. Now, if you're in a really, highly experienced league, highly active league, the guys in your league, they don't stop listening to podcasts. They don't stop, consuming content. It's possible that nobody would trade you, Jameis right now at a cheaper price, right? But you have to try. You have to try. And this is your moment anyway that you're trying to adjust things and move guys out. So you may be trading good players anyway, and you just try to get them to like, hey, listen, I'll do this deal with you, but just throw Jameis in. It ain't nothing, right? Like, it's just Jameis. It ain't no big deal. And you'll be surprised, how many times this will work. And if you're in a league with guys, like I said, that are not paying attention, that are a little worn out from the season, they're amped up for the Super Bowl, they're not thinking too much in the moment. This is an opportunity. This is a chance. These are one of these moments. They're windows. This is a Jameis Winston window. You know what I mean? It may go away. It may not even be true that Jameis Winston will be the starter in New Orleans. Who knows? Again, all these things are variables. We're just trying the best odds. We're just trying our best chances. But if Jameis is the starter in New Orleans, come on, bro. I'm a major believer in Jameis Winston. I know some people don't really like Jameis Winston. That's fine. The guy has had like a kind of up and down. He throws a lot of interceptions, but this is a new team, a new head coach, a new system, a new mature Jameis Winston. Who knows if that, transpires that way? But what we do know is he does have the arm. We do know that the head coach was impressed with his leadership and just his overall effort. And, they appreciated that he gave them a year to see, to try that out. So I like this situation here. If you're in a super flex and you can potentially get a Jameis Winston off somebody, again, there's people who are super amped for the draft, right? They're excited about these quarterbacks coming out. Even if it's not super flex, people are excited about the quarterbacks. So you can still, even almost more, secretly. But I guess you don't know if it's not deep and you don't have super flex, it doesn't really matter as much. But in super flex, they're excited about draft picks, right? As the draft gets near and near, these things are getting even more exciting. But even if you just throw someone a draft pick, a late draft pick potentially, or if you're, again, if they're planning on drafting a quarterback early, they may just not even want to waste their time with Jameis. So it's just putting this out there, right? It's to remind us about Jameis Winston, that he's still there, he still matters, he still exists. I know it's hard with all these, young guys coming into the league this year in the draft, and with quarterbacks changing teams, and old quarterbacks like Brady not hanging it up. There's a potential for Drew Brees to do the same. But this is just a reminder that guys like Jameis Winston matter. This is a window for you to obtain him possibly. That person that you're trying to get him from may not be thinking, about that window. They might not be a believer yet. They may think Drew Brees is going to return, or Saints won't re-sign him, or they like Taysom Hill. I don't buy that. Whether they'll have plays for him and stuff, sure. But I don't buy the Taysom Hill thing. Like, I believe Jameis Winston will beat him out. I really do. I really do believe that. So, yeah, this is just a reminder. There's going to be windows all throughout the offseason, and we'll talk about them every single time they come up. And I'll remind you, because I'm in the action too. I'm doing the same thing. So it's kind of like, like I said, reminder for me, reminder for you. I'm trying to help you out while I help myself out while I'm in there, doing the same thing I'm talking to you about. And again, if you don't agree with me, I'd love to hear. I'd love to hear why. I dropped a car episode yesterday. I got some, responses to that, which were great. Of course, Raider fans are always amped up and want to talk about their team. So there's some Raider fans, some non-Raider fans. So shout out to everybody who, a little back and forth with me and conversed about it. Same thing with, I forget which episode it was the other day too. It's just a lot of good reactions and interactions lately. So I appreciate that. So yeah, I'm really curious right now in this situation. If you have Jameis Winston, talking to you, if you have Jameis Winston, are you holding? Are you moving him? Are you taking this? Are you using this window as a sell window? That's the other side of this. If you don't believe in Jameis Winston, this may be your biggest moment. I mean, you could wait, if you feel really good that Drew Brees and retire, like you feel pretty confident about it, then you could obviously wait till he retires or they resign. Jameis makes it easier for you. You get more. It works both ways. Take advantage of these windows is the main point. And you have to stay on top of the game and on top of the news and give some credence to coach speak and look at, the storylines that are playing out in front of you and kind of project it forward. Don't project too far, but attempt to. And again, remember, this is all a game of best guesses. What is the data saying? What is the film saying? But you got to do some projections. You're not always going to be right. Your move isn't always going to be right? Like what you put the stock into when you researched it and you put all your information in there and you said, do I take this chance? It's not always going to be right. You're going to be wrong. But to win and to win big, you got to take those shots. And this is one of those windows. All right. Listen, I'm curious what you think. I'll put a poll up on Twitter maybe, but if not, even if I don't, hit me up at Clock Dodgers on Twitter, on Instagram. You can email me, contact@clockdodgers.com. Let me know what you think about the Jameis Winston situation. Will Drew Brees retire? Is this a golden opportunity to buy or sell, a player of like Jameis Winston right now in this window? And what do you think about it? What move are you going to make? And if you did make a trade for him, if you actually made it happen in this window, let me know. I'd love to hear some of the trades that have gone down. That's it for today's episode, guys. I look forward to talking to you guys tomorrow. You know where to find me, Clock Dodgers on Twitter, on Instagram, all these good places. If you haven't subscribed to the show, please hit the subscribe button. I know you're listening every day, and I appreciate it, but just hit subscribe because it helps us grow the show, grow the numbers, grow the attention, it helps us grow everything. If you haven't left a review, please leave a review. We greatly appreciate that. That's our billboard to the world. When people are scanning through millions of podcasts, they see your review. Your 5-star review matters. So if you could do that, please. So appreciative. And everyone who's been retweeting the episodes and again interacting, I can't thank you enough. It's awesome to talk and interact with you guys on a daily basis. So other than that, as always, be kind, be great, keep dodging.